My name is Quincy.
My name is Anderson Emerald.
And today we're going to pick our 3 favorite performances from this weekend Penn Relays.
And we're also going to talk about our favorite school from this weekend as well.
So let's jump right into it. My favorite performances, the first one I can't stop talking about this weekend, definitely surprised me, is going to be the Auburn girls. They broke the DMR record in 10:37.55, and they didn't even expect it. I spoke to them after the race, and they were surprised that they even broke it. They didn't even know what the record was before, considering how far they broke it. What about you?
My favorite performance was Quincy Wilson. In that 4x4, Quincy Wilson shocked the world.
Yep.
He had the fastest high school split on a 4x4 in history, 44.37 seconds. And then that was in the heats. In the final, he followed up and ran 44.69.
Yep.
And his team was behind. He had to pick things back up, and that brought him to that crazy split. Quincy Wilson has been dominating all year, so this was my favorite performance from this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Quincy Wilson, the 2 fastest splits at Penn Relays in high school history. I can't believe he did that. Came out here. I mean, splitting 44 twice in one day as a high schooler. Yeah. That's insane. I mean, we could talk about Quincy Wilson all day. Yeah. But let's talk about my second favorite performance. It's definitely going to be Jamaica College. My old high school, they came through in that 4x8. What an impressive time. They came through 30 meters behind. He kept going. The Jamaican crowd willed him on. And, you know, he just cut that 30 meters down and down and down. And honestly, I thought he wasn't going to have enough time. But he definitely came through, finished up strong. And the guy in front of him fell, you know. So that had a little extra twist to it. They ended up winning. It was an insane finish to that one.
Nice, yeah. My second one was the Excelsior boys in the 4x1. They were kind of the underdogs. Yep. They didn't do well at Champs a couple weeks ago in Jamaica, but they came here and they were able to get the win in the boys 4x1 and really, again, overperforming, you know, running a really, really strong time. I mean, this was a really, really good performance for the Excelsior boys. That was my second one in the 4x1.
Yeah, I mean, Excelsior, they've been doing great all season. I mean, as you said, in the 4x1 specifically, they didn't do great at Champs, but overall as a team, they've been making their name known. I think they're going to be on the come up. If you think about how Hydel started, Hydel kind of started like them, where they had a few good performances here and there. And now Hydel is a powerhouse. Let's jump into my third performance. It's definitely going to be the Kingston College 4x4. Like, the time was not crazy. They ran 3:11. They came out here, but if you consider what the weather was looking like at the time, it was a little drizzle. It was definitely the coldest day of the week. But one thing that people don't understand is that being the favorite is also hard. Like, yes, you're expected to win, but that expectation also brings pressure. So when you go out there and do what you're supposed to do, that makes it even more special. Kingston College came out there and they stood on business. They had a lot of competition. They had Jamaica College right there on them. They had Bullis, of course, right there on them. And a couple other schools, Excelsior also, who, you know, they finished second in that 4x4 and won the 4x1. So those are impressive performances from Excelsior. So shout out to Kingston College for coming through and doing what they're supposed to do. That was their third 4x4 victory in a row. As you can see, they're putting up that 3.
Yeah, man, that was a crazy 4x4. And like you said, they had a lot of pressure going in, considering they were kind of the favorites. And building off that, my third favorite performance was actually Vashti Cunningham in the high jump. Now, she didn't jump anything too crazy. I think it was 187 meters in the high jump. But talking about pressure, Vashti has been the best American high jumper for many, many years now. And she's always been on top, but she's always kind of been reaching for a medal. She said that this year she wants to go for the American record. So when I spoke to her after the competition, she was really, really excited to go for an American record. And I think this is the first stepping stone towards that potential to get that record in 2024. So my third favorite performance, Vashti Cunningham in the field events. Always have to give some shout outs to the field events.
As a former high jumper, I definitely am proud of what she's going for. She's going for 204, I believe. That's about the record. My personal best is 211, so please don't jump that. I still have an ego to protect. So let's jump into the last segment of this conversation. Our favorite team, you know, some team that stood out to us based on their performance. And for me, it's going to be Hydel. Hydel won the 4x1 and the 4x4. They're going home with 2 wheels back to Jamaica. I'm not sure how the plane is going to carry that, but Hydel will make it fit. I mean, as I spoke about Hydel a little bit, they've been on the come up. They were one of the small schools about 10 years ago, and last year they won their first champs. This year they came second, so they're right there in the mix always now. And now they're here at the Penn Relays year after year now, giving consistent performances. Going home with 2 wheels is big. I mean, next year they have to be aiming for 3, right? Going for that 4x8 one. So Hydel, big shout out to you. Looking forward to what you girls are gonna do later on this year. As you know, the under 20 is coming up in August, and then next year again when the team comes back.
Yeah, man. I mean, Hydel has been on the rise. They've been dominating year after year. So a huge shout outs to Hydel for what they were able to do at Penn. My favorite team from Penn Relays, talk about having to bring hardware back on a plane, South Florida. They won the women's 4x2, they won the men's 4x2, and they won the the men's 4x1. All championship titles in there. So you're talking about 3 plaques, 3 watches that all the athletes have to take home. I mean, they've really dominated. They've been a school that's kind of been on the rise, kind of been flown under the radar, but they have been making waves. And this is just the Penn Relays. They still have, of course, conferences. They have NCAAs. They might make some noise there. We all know the big schools. We know like the LSUs and the Texas A&Ms and all them. And huge shout outs to all those schools, right? But South Florida is definitely coming. They showed it today at the Penn Relays. I'm really looking forward to seeing what, again, both the men and the women are going to be able to do coming off these Penn Relays.
Yeah, South Florida did their thing. I mean, big shout out to Tampa. That's the home crowd. Eric Jenkins, the coach, he's been there a couple of years now. Yeah. He's been putting a lot of work. We've been seeing them break program record after program record. And big shout out to USF. What they came here and done is really putting themselves on the map. But as you said, conference, that's where it's really going to matter.
Yeah.
And then when they take it on to NCAA in Eugene, they got to put themselves in front of that big crowd and show what they can do on the big stage. But Penn Relays overall was a success. I mean, the weather was great for 2.5 days, I'd say. But, you know, not as bad as previous years. It drizzled a little bit, but not as bad. Can't wait for 2025. Looking to make it bigger and better. So, Penn Relays, we're signing out. These are some of the performances that we liked, and those are some of the schools that we loved.